Hello there. Hello, hello, hello. So I am just sending I'm just sending this link out to some of my groups, and then I'll start vamping for just a little bit, and then we can get on to the the main event. But honestly, I think this is gonna be I think this is gonna be fun. So yeah. Do, 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 do. Ah. So, yeah, nobody's here yet, but oh, hey, somebody's here. Hi. Hmm, So, oh, for anyone, hi, hey, Evo, how's it going? So, for anybody who doesn't know who David Jaffe is, and I don't blame you if you don't, and he is the midwit who somehow managed to develop the God of War game, and couldn't figure out how to get his how to do how to do basic shit in Metroid Dread, like say shooting at the ceiling. And I mean, that was just really impressive. So before going to the main event of watching in his quote unquote apology to Zelda and Metroid fans, I thought that it might be fun to revisit his utter stupidity, just to kind of get us in the right frame of mind for it. Yeah, I know it can be a little evil sometimes. Ugh. Okay, so I think I will start with that.
So he says, go back up in that room and shoot the ceiling.
You need to be
What?
told this.
Why? Why?
Why?
There's no
Why?
indication on the map. There's no indication visually.
Look at the enemy up there.
Heritage Month. Oh, I haven't been here before.
Everybody else just immediately going, "Hey, look at
But
that!"
the ceiling needs to be shot. Watch this. This is ridiculous.
The game did say it was super hard timing, but I mean, it's like
Apparently, he says what is in the larger review, which I only recently saw, that that's the reason for him doing this is that he really doesn't like the aiming. So if he can play it like a like a Mega Man game, he's gonna play it like a Mega Man game. Well, if you don't use the shit that you're given, don't know what to tell you, dipshit.
oh.
Why would I know that?
Why would I know that?
Maybe this is more where I was supposed to go.
Just to give a game a score.
Why would I know that?
There is nothing in the visual.
And the VTuber got it.
Why would anyone know to do that?
Why would
It
anyone
wouldn't.
know to do
It
that?
fucking wouldn't.
Very nice.
Crap, Bush League. This should not get a pass. I'm sorry, it's crap. Why? Why?
Why? Why? You suck at games. Stop blaming game designers for it. Okay, now that we got that, let's move on over and see what this other awesome getting what is. Now, I have not seen any of this. I have literally just read the title and the beginning of the description. Okay, so it's 18 minutes long. Well, let's see what I think of it.
So the Zelda fans are not happy, and I wanted to talk about that briefly. I don't want to make a
The Zelda fans aren't happy. Well, would it be because you have some shit takes in general? I mean, I've glanced at a few of your shit takes on Twitter, and they're definitely shit takes.
big thing out of it, but it did seem to be something I should mention, or I wanted to mention. Okay, so the
I'm thinking that I might play this sped up a little bit because he's sounding like "Ugh."
stuff I said about Zelda regarding it having areas that are really ugly.
I don't know what areas he's referring to. I've been playing it for a while. I've got 2 of the 4 sages. Got the entire overworld map mapped out. Got a good amount of the underworld. Everything's been looking really nice and pretty to me. Again, I'm just playing on Switch Lite, so what do I know?
I stand by. I'll never not stand by that unless they release a patch. I don't think the entire game is ugly. I don't think most of it is ugly, but
And as I've seen somebody else comment, you can engineer situations in pretty much any games that's going to have really fucked up graphics. So, yeah.
I think there's some so far. I'm about 7 hours in. Some pretty nasty looking places that just feel and I understand.
What the fuck is it? Jeez.
It's the Switch. It's this. It's that. Doesn't mean I don't love the game. Doesn't mean I don't think the art style is very pretty. Certainly.
Well, the way that you talk on Twitter, at least, you don't look like you're you're loving it. Just saying.
Given the limitations that it can hold its own from an art style standpoint, I think is great. Okay.
I'm always impressed myself by given the hardware that Switch actually uses, that they're able to get it to run, to get shit to run on it as well as they do. I mean, let's give those game designers, those coders, some pats on the back for optimization. I mean, imagine what we could do if we got that kind of optimization on actual current gen hardware like the PS5 or PS4.
Tangentially related, those might be the same thing. Doesn't matter. Related. No, it doesn't matter. Related.
I mean, dude, I realize that I stutter and stuff at times, but I'm doing a live stream. So you're doing a pre-recorded video. You have a shit ton more subscribers than me. You could be a bit more professional. Just saying.
Even going back to the Metroid thing, this is all about pissing off Nintendo fanboys. So,
yeah, going back to the Metroid thing, that's part of why I played that clip I did.
I also stand by that.
He stands by that. Yeah, he stands. Well, at least he stands by all of his L's. Good for him.
People like to say, "Oh, Jaffe says the game's too hard. He got stuck." it's too hard. My issue was never that it was too hard.
Your issue is that you're a dumb fuck. That's what your issue was. Just saying.
It may have been. I barely played it. My issue was the onboarding.
You barely played it because you're stupid and couldn't figure out that you might want to aim up to shoot an enemy. Maybe you didn't aim up to shoot at that enemy, but that there was an enemy flying above that, above that ceiling. That should have made you a little bit curious about how to get up there. Because why would they put an enemy there if you can't get to it? Just saying.
And I'm not going to, relitigate that with you fellas. You think what you want.
Yeah,
but here's
you're
what I'll tell you.
moron.
The reason I'm making this video is a couple of things have occurred to me recently, as of tonight, last night, that made me want to talk to the Nintendo fans who are still willing to listen to me.
The Nintendo fans are still willing to listen to you. Well, I am listening. And if this is an actual apology, I will actually give you credit for that. But you are not, but you have not started this video out very well. Just saying.
And even apologize to them, because for me, this is just jokey, right? I mean, I don't know. I think there's a generational aspect to it. Like,
to be completely honest, I've watched multiple other things that he has done. I've watched his live streams. This is for as arrogant of a person as he is. This actually sounds like he's being real. I didn't actually expect this. I was expecting this to be something a lot nastier. Normally, he's a complete ass munch.
I made a video about Metroid back in the day, and I'm like, if you like this, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, just saying. That's part of what I was expecting.
And do I think someone who likes Metroid Dread is a fucking moron? Of course I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good that you're saying that, but
Do I? It's just jokey, right? It's just dumb. It's just kind of it's just
you are not the brightest bulb, dude. Just saying.
Sort of me turned up to 20. Doesn't mean the issue I had isn't correct. But so if you took offense at that, which some people did, I'm sorry.
You see, okay, real talk here, Dave. Real talk. After you talk about the game being really bad because you couldn't figure out the basic what are the very basic things about the game, and then you go out yelling at the world that if you think that if you like Metroid, then you're a moron. It kind of sounds like you're in a rage and that you actually kind of mean it. I'm just saying, being real.
Sorry for that, because I mean, I really didn't. That was not my intention. My intention was to paint very broad strokes about how ridiculous I thought the onboarding in that game was. But here's why I'm kind of apologizing, or I'm definitely apologizing, because I don't like to hurt people. But it's only until last night that I recognized that, yeah, there are trolls, and I'm one of them sometimes.
Okay, I was literally just about to say, and you're one of them.
Yeah, there are people who are just playing around on the internet. I'm one of them sometimes. But it occurred to me that there were some responses coming to me from people kind of standing up for Zelda, where they were really serious. And in the past, it's been very easy for me to paint those kinds of people as, oh my God, there's what, get a grip, get some therapy. It's a fucking video game, blah, blah, blah.
And that kind of response is what I was expecting this to actually be. And because I've seen him do it. And I've never interacted with him about it because I don't really care to. I mean, I might actually after watching this, if it remains him honestly being like this, I may actually at him and say thank you for the apology, because I mean, I joked about this is gonna go well because I didn't expect it to, just like I didn't expect Matt Walsh's thing to. I was right with Matt Walsh, but it looks like I may have been wrong with this, and I'll admit that.
I made my career for the longest time making video games. I've loved them since 1974. But it does occur to me, and I see it in my own kids, not video games, they're not gamers and stuff, but
Oh yeah, and what I also wanted to say there was, as when I say that that I could have been one of those people that would be out there defending Zelda, I have a Link tattoo, and that is my only tattoo that I have. I've been playing in Legend of Zelda games since the gold cartridge. The Legend of Zelda games actually kind of mean a lot to me. So it's, the same goes for Metroid actually, but Legend of Zelda a bit more. And David Jaffe coming at them like he has really did rub me the wrong way. So yeah.
and I'm not saying anybody who took issue was young, but I know there were a lot of younger people. I see a lot of anxiety in that generation. People who if you're under 30, under 35, you get a fucking pass from me. Not that you need it, because I wouldn't have wanted grown up as a kid in the last 35 years.
Okay.
It's rough, man. I mean, the anxiety and the terrorism and the shooting and the pandemic and the political upheaval. And, if a video game comes along, whatever age, but certainly that age, and it does bring you a sense of joy and comfort and escape and a connection with the community, I was never trying to attack that, but I appreciate that there are people who take it very seriously and very protective of it. And it's tough because I just joke around a lot, it doesn't mean the issues I bring up I don't believe.
Fair play. I mean, I've never said that he didn't believe in what he was saying with the issues. That is not something that I ever thought. I thought that that the issues that he was taking were dumb, but I've never thought he was being disingenuous about his issues. If that makes sense, if the distinction makes any sense.
I totally believe what I said about Metroid, what I said about Zelda. But I was also, I wasn't trying to actually, for people who were genuinely hurt by it because Zelda is something that brings them comfort. That was not my intention.
This actually looks like he's taking some responsibility. That's a shock.
It just wasn't, and that was bad form from me, and I apologize for that because I'm not that guy. I assume everybody just kind of knows, which leads me to this something else. This guy tweets me, I'd never heard of this. I've heard of a bunch of principles, never heard of the Poe principle. Poe principle, I guess, if you're maybe younger generations know it, I had never heard about it, where if you don't go out of your way to make it clear you're joking on the internet, you don't really have a right to complain.
Yeah, yeah, yes. You cannot read tone on Twitter. You really can't. Okay. I don't think I'm ever gonna like David Jaffe, but this video is actually humanizing him for me. I did not expect that.
Whether you're talking about people that just don't read cues very well, even in text, or people who read cues great in real life, but they don't know me from shit. And they're like, this guy, there's a lot of idiots on the internet. This guy seems like he's one of them. Like when I put out that picture last night about AI, and I took a picture of AI with Zelda or Link. I know it's Link.
I know it's Link. Oh dear Lord, if he hadn't made that correction, God.
I would stunned that anybody would have really thought, I'm like, hey, Nintendo, let me teach you how to make a fucking video game. And I knew the
Dude, you are an egotistical, well, a game dev yourself. So you saying something like that, it kind of tracks.
AI was going to kind of have a great little, what do they call it? The where they dovetail the kind of graph, whatever the kind of graph that is, between people who hate AI art and people who are hardcore kind of, Nintendo aficionados. It just seemed like it would. And it did.
And it did.
So a lot of people got upset. And I'm like, okay, I assumed I didn't need to make it clear I was joking. And a lot of people got the joke.
At this point, I almost want to stop reacting to this because I'm just sitting here watching it at this point, not really adding that much to it. And I almost feel like I'm not transforming this. So I could actually get a claim on this. Because honestly, other than the first few minutes, I think up to here I'm fine, but I don't really think I'm adding that much to it at this point. So I'm thinking that I might watch the rest of it myself offline. Because, yeah, maybe a little bit more.
And in the past, I would have been like, you know what? If you're too fucking stupid to get the joke and you think I'm really serious, if you look back at my history of making games and talking about games and playing games, just decades,
and that shows just how self-absorbed he was. It's interesting that he's actually learning a little.
would know that gameplay has always come first to me, that I have said over and over that I will take indie games and AA games over AAA games if the gameplay is unique and fresh and interesting and emotive and whatnot.
Interesting. I didn't know that he's actually said that. Huh.
But then it occurs to me, I'm like, what if you don't know me?
Yeah. I mean, what if my introduction to you was you spurging out over Metroid Dread? Because that was my introduction to you, dude.
Most people on the planet don't know me. I'm known more than some, but certainly not known more than most. That makes sense. And so why would people who don't know who I am? So I just, when it was framed for me that way, and when I actually read this Poe Principle thing, and when I realized that I got 2 or 3 tweets where it was like, I think this person in the past I would have called unhinged, but now I just go, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but we're all a little unhinged.
Yes, I agree with that statement 100%. We are all a bit unhinged.
Maybe a lot unhinged. And this brings that person comfort. And I should be able to communicate my issues with this product and still have fun with it and joke around, but make it clear to people who don't know that I am, because I would never actually want to hurt anyone. So I wanted to get that out of the way because it's important to me. The other thing real quickly, Zelda, yeah, you don't need to tell me that Zelda is the woman. And
dear Lord, that looks. It sounds like it sounds like he did step on that landmine.
Link is the warrior, whatever age he is, depending on the game. I got the first Zelda in '86 at Circus World when it came out.
So did I.
Got the gold cartridge.
Yep, I was mentioning the gold cartridge.
I finished Zelda 2 on the day I got my college acceptance to USC. Link to the Past is one of the best games ever. Minish Cap, one of the best games ever. I think Link Between Worlds is better than any other Zelda, including all the 3D ones.
This has shown me a side of him that I had not seen. And I'm glad to see it. I actually am.
I've never cared for the 3D Zeldas. Frankly, I've played every single one of them, but this one, Tears of the Kingdom, so far is the first 3D Zelda that brings me back to the feeling of being a kid / young adult playing those original Zeldas. And I think it's because of what do they call it? Ascend, Ultra Hand, Rewind, whatever they.
This is very surprising to me.
Give these titles, I forget the abilities, because it feels like you can explore and the game actually rewards you for exploring, not so much the level, although that works too, but exploring the mechanics and playing with them and going, oh my god, I just did something cool, I didn't know that would work, but it did. That brings me back to those older games. So out of all the 3D games, I'm loving Tears of the Kingdom more than any other ones. But yeah, it's not pretty in a lot of places. Some places it is. People.
Okay, I'm gonna be nicer to him this time than I was before, because before I thought he was just leading into his regular idiocy. Dude, don't focus on the areas that you don't think are that you think are ugly. Take a look at the other places, especially since you're the one saying that it's not most, it's just that they're there. So why focus on it? I'm just saying.
People sent me a lot of screen grabs. I appreciate that. There's a lot of places that it's pretty. In most cases, it's just fine, and in some places, it's downright ugly. The controls are insanely unwieldy.
No.
But that's how good the game is that I don't care. I keep going back to it.
The only problem that I have with controls is when I'm rotating something. It would be nice if if I didn't have to, if it didn't feel like I was playing with a puzzle piece that it can only turn right or left and up or down. So but I'm not sure that I have a better idea of how to spin them. So
to play it because I enjoy it so much. Let me just kind of look at my notes real quick because I want to make sure I cover some of the stuff that was bugging me. People are like, Jeff, you cherry picked that image and you picked the worst image to make fun of Zelda. And I'm like, no, the reason I picked that image was it wasn't that I was looking for images. I was wandering through the Sky Island at the beginning in the tutorial.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. If you legitimately had an issue with one of the graphics, then all you'd have to do would be take a screen grab when you see it. That's not exactly cherry picking, but it is interesting that he felt the need to focus on it.
Part of the game, and I happened upon that, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was struck by how ugly it was, and so I took a picture. It wasn't me looking for something ugly. What else? Again, the idea. I will push back a little bit, though. I get that people love what they love and they cherish it and it means a lot. But there is, I think, some mental health reflected in the idea that you can love something and adore it and it brings you great comfort, but you can also still analyze it and debate it and be critical of it.
Yes. But also now you're bringing up mental health stuff on it. So, dude, there is criticism, and then there's, like you said before, trolling. So,
my favorite entertainment of all time is Raiders of the Lost Ark. It got me into making games, and I wanted to make movies, and it steered me on a very creative path my whole life. Adore it. I was still able, when somebody came up to me and said, you realize, this is decades after the movie hit, that Indiana Jones, if he wasn't even involved in the movie, in the story, nothing would have changed.
Okay.
The Nazis would have eventually gotten the Ark to the island. They would have opened it up. Spoiler alert, God would have come out and killed all the Nazis. Indiana Jones didn't even need to be involved in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I do think that's a flaw. You can kind of think your way through it and find some little threads where it makes it's a flaw. Still my favorite piece of entertainment of all time, but I can appreciate their problems. Doesn't.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of agreeing with him.
Mean anything. It's just discussion. the last two things, somebody clearly was indicating, oh, look at these Western devs. They're anti-Japanese. They don't like Japanese. And this guy brought up Elden Ring. Elden Ring, my friend, is my favorite game of all time. My absolute favorite game of all time.
Okay, the man has some taste. The man has taste.
I was married for 14, 15 years to a Japanese lady. And she's still my best friend on the planet. She's the mom of my kids. So no to whatever it is you think you're trying to accuse me of.
Who thought that he was anti-Japanese? I mean, that's an odd thing to throw at him.
Final thing, AI art. Let's be clear. That's the future. EA has come out and talked about it recently. It's going to be a big part. Blizzard has come out and talked about it. I literally saw a video the other night where it was how to integrate ChatGPT prompts into Midjourney, which is the AI program. So you,
Yeah, and for everybody who loves or hates AI, he ain't wrong. You can be upset about the morals of it or what and all that, but it's not good. It's not going to stop it from being used. So, don't know what to tell you.
you can tell, be all flowery and crazy with ChatGPT, and it whittles it down to like a sentence or two. And I was doing that, and within 5 minutes, I was having. I'm not going to edit this, and I don't want this to go too long, but let me show you what I'm talking about, right? I mean, and I'm not here to kind of sell you on AI.
I'm curious what he's about to show, to be honest.
Art. What I'm trying to communicate, I guess, is, let me see if this will come up. I was like, oh, give me Sweet Tooth. I wanted to see what Sweet Tooth would look like. And it's not perfect. Somebody said, oh, do Ted Lasso. God damn it, Jaffe. Ted Lasso biting into a soccer ball. Somebody said, do schematics of Iron Man, right? All of this literally took, and we timed it on the Discord, between them asking for it and then me going to GPT and putting this in, it was 3 to 4 minutes. You cannot tell me that this is not the future of creating content in commercial places like movies, games, what have you.
Yeah.
I absolutely am opposed to theft. Oh my God, that screen. Look at the screen. Oh, right, because I have the camera changed. It's better here, but I haven't cropped it here. Doesn't matter. I'll fix it later. I'm absolutely, people are, it's so dusty. I know. I'm absolutely opposed to theft. I would hope, and I'm sure some companies are already doing this, that they are going to have the AI they use draw from art that they own.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I follow one AI artist on Twitter who, from what they say, they actually have trained their AI with their own art. So I got no problem with that.
The rights to, or that they have licensed the rights to, which I think would be dangerous, because then what happens when the license expires? But different point. And I think that's how it's going to be going forward. That's how it should be going forward. No one deserves to have their work taken. And
100% agreed. No one should have their work taken. But the thing is that, and this might upset some people, if it's if it's images that you put on Twitter, people can look at the Mona Lisa and learn how to draw by looking at the Mona Lisa and looking at other things and stuff. So we can't let a computer look at it. Meh.
Actually monetized. That's bullshit. But that's growing pains. This is the same Ted Lasso, but then someone said do it cartoony. And yes, can I look at this and can I find little things? Like I was trying to do Taylor Swift's Thor. I'm like, I'm going to do all the oh, you can't even see him. I'm going to do all the here's the Ted Lasso, by the way, cartoony. I'm like, I'm going to do all the Marvel characters as Taylor Swift because I'm in love with Taylor Swift and she's going to marry me. And obviously, there are problems. Her hand is the hammer, right?
Her hand is the hammer.
That's fucking amazing. Okay, so we'll get there. And we should get there because it will allow creative people to start using a different set of tools in order to express what is in their imagination. This is the Zelda thing that pissed off a lot of people. So people are like, but Jaffe, look, you can see this and that. Look at the birds. I'm like, dude, that was never the point. We're not there yet. This is a year ago, you couldn't even fathom this fucking shit, right? So the point is, my take on AI is no one deserves to be ripped off. But if you're living in a world, and again, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're living in a world, especially now that you've got all these game companies coming out in support of it, and it is so fucking fast that, I mean, back in the day, man, I would have spent when I was at Sony, I used to work with a wonderful artist. It's just the way it is. I used to work with a wonderful artist that the day rate was like $800. Okay. This image, or let's just take let's do Sweet Tooth here. This image, if I was sort of going, okay, that's great in a rough black and white. Now I really want to flesh that out to pitch it to the modelers or whatever. This image would have taken about 4 or 5 days. You're talking about depending on the day rate of the person, a $2,500 to $10,000 image, basically. This was done in 3 minutes, and I have 3 choices. And then I did another one in 3 minutes, and I have more choices. So I'm sorry if you're an artist and that frightens you. It should frighten you. It should frighten all of us. But at the same time, hopefully it'll push people towards universal basic income. And I know, who knows if it's going to happen. Hopefully it will. Where all of this extra time that's freed up doesn't mean that suddenly we get more work thrown at us. It means that, we can embrace a bit more leisure time, that we can, have universal basic income. So it's a big can of worms. I'm not like out here going, fuck artists, AI art's everything. But I am saying this is the future. It is amazing.
Okay.
And I'm actually looking forward to what artists, whether you're a visual fine artist or whether you're a writer, I'm looking forward to imaginative folks taking these tools and going, now that barrier has been removed.
I wonder how many people are going to be roasting him for his take on the AI art. I mean, there's a lot of people that are woohoo on that.
To some extent. Now what can I do to take what's in me and express it and share it with the world? That's still incredibly artistic and meaningful and important. So anyway, there you go. I wanted to, it's a long video. I didn't mean to make it this long, but I really did want to express that because as much as I like to joke around and fuck around with people and stuff, and I'm a very obviously opinionated guy, an outspoken guy, and I'll never change that. I don't want to change that. But I'm not mean. And it really, I'm really sorry if you're one of those people that took that content and really felt I was, making things uncomfortable for you because someone with a pretty big microphone, and pretty big microphone was, comparatively speaking, not like compared to really people with really big microphones.
Character growth.
Was kind of taking the piss. That it was fun. It was all in good fun, and the content was correct in my opinion. It was still accurate from my view, but I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. So I do apologize for that. And there you go. That's my take on it all. And I hope you're well. And
Okay.
Play Zelda if you haven't already, because it's great. You know what else is great? Believe it or not, 2K. What's it called? Lego 2K Drive. I got it yesterday. It comes out, I think, Friday for everybody. I got the pre-order. Holy shit. It's not the world's best game, but it's just fucking like bubblegum. It's so fun. I've been coming back to it for the last 2 days, and I can't wait to come back to it later. All right. Be well, everybody. See you soon.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm shocked. This is character growth? I mean, dude, I'm actually going to give that a thumbs up. And I'm going to leave him a comment. David, I honestly thought that this was going to be a troll. I honestly thought that this was going to be a troll video, and was getting ready to roast it. However, I was pleasantly surprised to see that you were genuine. Thank you for reflecting on how the things you say the things you say can be taken in by others. There you go. And I'm going to need to honestly, you you, you say something about that on Twitter too. Well, I'm assuming that that's you. And that's there. Evo, thank you for sticking around through the entire thing. And yeah, have a good day.